Welcome to The Breakdown, where we break down some up shit. Today we're watching Felidae, a film about a talking cat solving a bunch of cat murders. This film ain't that disturbing, but not everyone loves the whole cat murder thing. But you want to learn something new, don't you? Don't just stand there, stay tuned for the breakdown. The movie starts out with a cat scratch title screen, and then we see a vehicle that's going on a trip. A cat introduces himself as Francis, and Francis and his owner stop at their new home. In the house, Francis gets a whiff of something revolting and walks around until he discovers another pussy cat. Then he sees a dead pussy on the ground. The big cat says this is the fourth victim, and he blames the can openers for the murder, which is cat slang for humans. But Francis disagrees and believes something other than human tools caused this murder. Next, Francis goes to sleep, but then in a flash, Francis goes into a nightmare where a faceless man gives him a collar with a chain and is pulling Fran to hell. Then Francis wakes back up and talks to the big cat about the cat murders. The big cat named Bluebeard then takes Sherlock Francis to another victim's body before meeting up with some cat crips. Then the leader of the gang, Kong, comes up and tries boxing and jumping Francis since he's in the wrong set, but Bluebeard scares them off. The two come up on some blood, and after seeing the body for 2 seconds, Francis deduces that the dead cat was murdered outside and was also in the middle of some pussy pounding before he was killed by an evil cat. Later on, Francis discovers some cats electrocuting another cat, and someone's preaching. It seems to be a cat cult, and we see cats willingly getting electrocuted. Francis spots Bluebeard among the crowd, but then he gets discovered by the aristocrats. After escaping, Francis lands in some laboratory room and goes Nathan Draking on the rooftops to get away. Spider cat, does whatever a spider cat can. No, Francis got the moves like Big Sean and keeps parkouring from them sneaky pussies. Francis lands in a room and meets up with a blind kitty. She says this, that means blind, sweetheart. Francis spits the game on her, and Felicity gives him info about hearing the murders firsthand. Then Bluebeard meets back up with Francis and he leaves his new pussy friend behind. After eating, Francis and Bluebeard are seen getting spied on, and they end up in the house where that spying cat was. Francis and that smart cat talk about the murder victims, but the smart one says Felicity is a new victim. In disbelief, Francis runs back to Felicity's room and discovers her dead body. Completely beheaded, Francis leaves and meets up with Bluebeard and lets him know that whoever killed her did it because she knew too much. Then Francis has another nightmare, and yep. Then Francis wakes back up and goes rat hunting and the rat up. Then he accidentally turns on a cat experiment video. They are putting acid in cat brains. Then one cat doesn't get affected by it, and he is called Claudandus, which is the name that the aristocrats were preaching. The scientist in the video wants Claudandus to father a master race, but as Francis is watching, Kong confronts Francis with his two homies. Francis gets running and almost gets killed before jumping out a window and running for a while before discovering another dead cat with dead kitties ripped out of her stomach. The dead cat was Kong's main squeeze, then a random old cat escapes from the area. Francis finds the cat and tries following him down a tunnel, and Bluebeard comes behind him. They discover a mass grave of cats, and then the old cat, Josiah, lets his presence be known. Josiah talks about how the dead got there. Then Bluebeard and Francis talk about the leader of the cult, Joker, and how these dead cats possibly came from those scientists in the video. Then Francis starts smashing some sexy little kitty. She's kind of cryptic, but Francis does round 2. Next, Francis meets up with the smart cat, and they try deducing more info about the killer. They believe that the cult leader is the killer, and then the smart cat thinks the cat that Francis smashed could be related to Claudandus. The three call a meeting of pussies, where we find out the killer has killed hundreds of cats based on computer data. Francis finds out that Claudandus is still alive by a blue girl cat. Then next, Francis discovers that Joker, the cult leader, has died willingly by sacrifice. Francis deduces that the cat he smashed earlier is a part of a super race of cats that have been devolved into a state of original, like turning a human back to an ape. Francis gets a lead on the smart cat, and they break into the cat's house. Then we see Bluebeard gets attacked off screen. It turns out the smart cat was Claudandus all along, and he explains his whole story to Francis. He tells Francis he wants him to be the leader of the new race after he dies. Francis says no thanks, and then tries deleting his files, but then they get into a showdown as the building burns down behind them. They both get an equal share of licks in as the house is burning, but then Francis cuts and disembowels Claudandus and leaves him to die. Francis drags Bluebeard out, but it looks like he dies from his wounds. Lastly, the movie ends with Francis giving some speech about how life moves on. Seems like a big point in a lot of the movies in the previous breakdowns. Then he goes to chase some more pussy down. Well, yeah, the cat murder was kind of graphic, but I think Cartoon Network could have got away with that one. Anyway, let's talk about the most disturbed moment and the most enjoyed moment, huh? I feel like I've seen more messed up stuff on Courage the Cowardly Dog, but hey, this is considered a disturbing animation, so I thought I would do it. The most disturbed moment goes to when Francis discovered Felicity's body. Yeah, it was overkill and she was too nice for all that to happen. The most enjoyed moment, I guess, goes to when Francis was smashing a pussycat. I don't know. I thought it was pretty funny. And that's it. The movie was released in 1994, same year as Natural Born Killers, and it was directed by Michael Schack and originally written by some German guy that I won't even try pronouncing. Anyway, I'm SpookyRice, and this has been a breakdown. Thanks for watching this video on Felidae. Hope you guys are enjoying these videos, and please subscribe and like the video. It helps me get even better with what I do. Anyway, this Wednesday we break down King of Pigs, but in the meantime, check out the other breakdowns. Anyway, Spooky out.